Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about charts and pivot bar charts. Charts and pivot bar charts in Excel are a powerful tool for visualization and presenting data. They offer a compelling way to convey information, making it easier for user to understand complex data relationships, identify trends, and communicate insights effectively. All that we are going to learn about Excel charts are the ways to create a chart in Excel, selecting data series to graph, selecting chart elements, changing chart area, and adding images to the chart. Let's move on to our Excel file. We have a table here for 2022 revenue by quarter, and we have the region wise data for north, south, east, and west for quarters 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start applying the charts to this table. Let me select only the first region. For me to apply chart, I'll have to go to Insert, click on Recommended Charts. If you're not sure which chart to pick, you can go to Recommended Charts. You see these many varieties of charts that can be applied on this particular selection range. Click OK. Now we have this small tiny chart for North, and this quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 is what we have here. This is one way of applying chart. The next way to insert the chart is, let me delete this. I've already selected the range for North. Press Alt F1, and now I have this beautiful chart with different colors for all the bars, and it's the same series 1, series 2, series 3, and series 4 where for quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. This way we can apply charts in another way using the shortcut key, which is Alt F1. Let me delete this chart and let's go to the old recommended plain chart. Go to Insert, Recommended Charts, and let me pick the first one, the plain blue color one. This is a plain unformatted chart which we get when we click on the recommended option. There are multiple types of charts that we can see from the design here, and here it's all a combination of blue, white, and black. Let me pick this from the chart styles, but I don't want all the bar colors to be only in blue. I want the bar charts to be multicolored. How to change this option? Go to Change Chart Type, and here you have the multicolored option. Select this and OK. Now you have the multicolored chart. If you don't like the bars to be very close to each other, you can select multiple styles here. Let me select this as my style for now, and I don't want this gray color bar coming up in my chart. Change these colors. We have Change Colors option here, and this is the colorful palette that I can see, and I have these 4 options. These are the colors that comes up to each individual bars, and I don't want this gray color to be in my bar, so let me select the third one which does not have the gray color bar in the chart. Now I have the chart color changed. This is how you can change the color and do the basic formatting. You can pick this one to have a background of black color, or you can even have this one as just an outliner. For now, let me keep this white color background as my chart type. We can make some more modifications to this chart. Let's learn it step by step. Here I have the data for North. This chart is for North, and if I want to change the data to another region, suppose if I need the data for East, I need to change the data range. To do that, let me go to Select Data, and we have the data range here. For now, the data range is selected as the first row, which is North, and then this whole quarter data. If you want to change this to East, then select on East and drag the whole quarter data. I don't want the total data to be coming out in my bar, so I'm going to take only the 4 quarter data here. Now I've changed my data to East. We have multiple chart elements here towards the right. All that we have selected is axis. You can select axis title. So you got axis title here. Chart title, you can mention the chart title here. let me mention it as East region, quarterly data or whatever that you can add. These are the changes that we can do to the chart elements. We can remove or add the chart elements as per our preference. I don't need the axis title. Let me remove the axis title. Let me click on the plus symbol here for chart elements and just uncheck the axis titles here. Now the axis title is gone. If you don't want these labels to be coming up here, you can simply uncheck this as well. And if you don't want these lines here, you can remove it by unchecking the grid lines. You can even remove the legend or keep it the way it is. So far we learned how to apply the charts, the ways to apply the charts. One is through the shortcut key and other one is through the insert and recommended charts option. Next we learned how to change the data of the chart area by going to select data, and the third one is applying the chart elements. Next, let's learn how to change the chart area. Let's go to select data and make some changes to the chart area. We have these data source here. We can switch the row to column and columns to row. When you switch the data, the chart type is changed. So let me switch this back to the old style. Here it says series 1, 2, 3 and 4, which is the legend here. I want this to be shown as quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4. When I click on switch row to column, I have the colors changed to one single color. The style is now changed. We can make the changes later. We see that it's mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, where I want it to show as quarter 1, 2 and to edit this style, go to Access Label Range and select the label range. Okay, now you have quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4 showing up here. If you want to apply the data table here, you can apply data table. This will show how much was the revenue for quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4 in table format, like the way we have it here. If you don't want this table here, then let's remove it. Now again, when you want to change the data from East to any other region, you can simply go to select data again, change the chart data range to South. You can even select total revenue where we have 5 bars there, and here in place of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's give it a clear understanding about what these labels are. Now you have quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 and total revenue for South. Remove this completely. Select the whole table. You have North, South, East, West coming up here, and quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 and 22 revenue. The 4 bars are for North, South, East and West. This is how you can see the multiple bars for multiple quarter and regions. If you don't want all these regions and the data to be shown, go to select data again and uncheck those that you don't want to be shown. Let me not get these two data here. So now you have only for 2 regions for all the 4 quarters without the total. You can make some changes to the appearance of this chart. Go to insert again, recommended charts again. Here you see all charts. Click on this, and in the column chart you have multiple options where you have 3D column option as well. Let me click on this 3D column. You have something like this where it's 1 and 2, and here this is 1 and the one which was previous to this. Now you have this 3D option. Again, when you want to change the data here, go to select data and select east and west and check north and south. Now we have the data like this. You can just double click on this and all these quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 for west region is selected. When I double click here, we get another box here to fill the color. Let me change the color to blue, or let me make it red, and let me give the small box color as yellow. You can even select the radiant fill. I change the radiant color to something like this. We can even apply the grid line to it. Now let's learn how to insert pictures in the chart. Just select anywhere on this chart. Go to insert. Here you can select the pictures. For now, I'm going to select the icons. Let me take this as my icon. Here I have my simple picture here. You can just minimize it. You can just resize it as tiny as you want and mention here as east, and you can copy this again and show this for west. You can select any other picture to show east and west. Let me delete this and insert another picture. Insert another icon. Let me select this for another region. Resize this, and then for west, let me have this as my tiny picture. This is how you can apply icons, pictures to the chart. Now let's move on to our pivot bar charts. Pivot bar charts offer a clear visual representation of data pattern and trends. Pivot chart enables user to quickly identify high or low values, compare data across categories, and spot outliers. The interactivity of the pivot bar charts allows for easy exploration and filtration of data using slicers or other interactive elements, providing a dynamic experience for data analysis. Let's move on to an Excel file to apply pivot charts. I'm going to use the same call center dataset here to draw a pivot chart. The data is ranging from 2017 to 2020. We have 30,649 rows and we have data for 4 years. This is a pretty big data. Now let's apply pivot chart and pivot table simultaneously for us to understand the data and also the graphical representation of the data. To apply pivot charts, select the range, complete range. Now I have all 30,000 rows selected. Go to insert and we see something called as pivot charts here. Go to pivot chart and this will provide both pivot chart and pivot table. Let's click the pivot chart and pivot table together, and now this has selected the row 1 to 30,000 and from columns C to F. Let's have our pivot table in a new sheet. As we did for the previous example in pivot table, let's drag the date here. Calls offered. From the pivot table, we see that the year 2017, 18, 19 and 20 are our rows, and the total calls offered during this year is our second column, and we have the output in the rows here. And here are the 2017, 18 and 19 data, and this is our another filter here where we can filter the data. Pivot chart field has filters, legends, access and values, whereas in pivot table field we have filters, columns, rows and values. Let me move quarters to legends, and I don't need the data here, so let me just take the data off, and let me keep the month later. You can just uncheck the months here or just put it out. Now we have this 4 bars, and this is for quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4 for that particular year, 2018, 19 and 20. 20 we have only 2 quarter data, where we have only 6 months data, and that's the reason we can only see 2 quarter data. When you move this year to the filter range, you see that quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 bars are shown for all the years here. So this will have quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 for all the 4 years. Quarter 3 and 4 is for 3 years, and quarter 1 and 2 is for 4 years data. And that is what is shown in the bar. Now we can even check for calls answered data along with calls offered. For that, let me move the quarter to axis and add calls answered here. It will automatically take the sum of calls answered, and here we see that this is the quarterly date 1, 2, 3 and 4, as the way we have here quarter 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is for sum of calls offered. As we see from the legend here, blue is for sum of calls offered and orange is for sum of calls answered, and we have these two. Here we see the plus sign. This is the chart element that we can add or remove. We have the grid lines here. We can keep the grid lines if you want. This is the legend where we have sum of calls offered and calls answered. Let's keep this way. We don't have the data labels here. Let's not keep it because it's overlapping. We have the chart. We should enter the chart title here. So let me enter the chart title as quarterly call volume. If you don't want these fields to be shown here, right click and hide this field button, and you can even hide this field button here. When you don't want any of the field buttons to be on the chart, go to any of the fields here, right click, hide all the field buttons on the chart, and now we don't have any of the field buttons. We had values here, we had sum of calls offered and sum of calls answered, and the yearly data here and the quarterly data here, and now it's all removed. Here again we see that quarter 1 and 2 where we had high calls answered and calls offered data, and again for 3 and 4 we received less calls. As I mentioned before, the data is less. We have only 6 months data for 2020, so this is almost 3.5 years data, but this quarter 1 and 2 is 4 years data. This way we can understand the performance of the calls by using the bar graph like this. Let's add the time interval to the graph. I'm going to move the quarter to the filter section and time interval here. I see that I have two filters now, year and quarter, and these are the time intervals and the calls offered during the time intervals here. And this is the chart which shows what was the time interval and how much was the call flow. We have this time interval for 2 hours, and we have the data here for every 1 hour time interval, and the chart has reduced the size by making it as 2 hours time interval. We can modify this. Double click on this. We can select the date axis, and in labels, let me select the interval between the labels as specific interval unit as 1. I see that now the interval has changed to 1 hour interval. As per the chart, we see that at 5 AM and at 3 PM we received high call volume for all the 4 years. And we can even understand which one is the least call volume timing. Here at around 12 PM we see that this is the least call volume timing. Now let's look at the highlights of this video. Charts, including pivot bar charts, provide a visual representation of data that enhances data interpretation. Pivot bar charts, in combination with pivot tables, offer interactive data exploring capabilities. Charts and pivot bar charts are powerful tools for effective communication and reporting data-driven insights.